Hello, folks. Welcome to Node 4.2, wherein we will continue talking about stories and storytelling. I'm really excited for this week um, because we're going to talk about some of the things that we are fanatical about, some of the things that you're fans of. Um, and we're going to read some more stories about stories. We're going to talk about why we tell stories about stories. Now, it's not just why we tell stories, but why we tell stories about stories. Because in human culture, not only do we tell stories to each other, but some people like to think and talk about why we tell stories about stories, which is what we're doing in this class. And in thinking about culture, especially in the digital age, um, I think it's important to talk about those things, to think about the stories that we tell about stories, of course. So anyway, we'll address that specifically here in the voice board for the week, and it comes up in some of the reading here. An amateur family, which talks about this family's experience with a TV series that I'm also a huge fan of. Gilsdorf, I spelled that wrong. He talks about his experience with online gaming, and now online gaming, or rather gaming, not online gaming, but Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is a story-based game, and so he tells a story about his experience with stories, and in Artis Kofer's piece, Casa, it's also about stories, how the stories we tell about stories. She's telling a story about a family story. Now, Satrapi's The Veil is an alternative form of storytelling, which is a graphic novel, but it's a little different than the other things you'll be reading for the week, because it doesn't tell stories about stories, but it uses an alternative form of storytelling, a more visual form of storytelling. And also, I want you to watch the first season of a web series called The Guild. It's pretty hilarious. It tells the story of a group of people, of a group of online gamers. It's pretty short. The whole series is only 42 or 43 minutes long. And so we'll be looking at that. Now, also, you'll have, I'm going to skip down here, per the survey I gave you last week about the free writing journal, I decided to make a change to that. Instead of making 2 entries based off of your annotations, I want you to record just one 300-word entry by the end of the week, in which you reflect on what you learned in the class for the week. Now, it can be anything, but it really should be related to the course material, however you interpret that to mean. So just one entry from now on, in which you reflect on the things you're learning in the class, or your experience of the class, your experience with writing, or the node topic, whatever, your personal experience. So I'm going to open that up a little wider. Now, also, in preparation for our next composition, which I've titled Composition Number 2, My Fanaticism, the assignment page is forthcoming. I want you to pick someone or something that you are a fan of. Now, it can be a person, it can be a movie, it can be a TV series, it can be something else. Just something that you are a fan of, something that you really like. And then once you've made your choice, I want you to go to the Node 4.2 I'm a Fan page on our Google Plus community and tell us about your choice, and how you express that your fandom in your life. For instance, I'm going to share something with you about me, that I am a huge fan of Doctor Who. I don't know if any of you know what Doctor Who is, but I love Doctor Who, love sci-fi. Doctor Who is, I think, it is my all-time favorite TV show. It's ongoing, but anyway, it's about a time-traveling. He's called a Time Lord. He travels through time in a phone box that looks. Let's see if we can find a picture of it. See, now I'm going to geek out on you a little bit here, but it looks like this. His time machine looks like this. It's called a TARDIS. It stands for time and relative dimension in space. But anyway, the movie, series is all about his travels, him interacting with people on different planets, and his continued interactions with people on Earth. Anyway, I expressed this in my life. I've got T-shirts, Doctor Who T-shirts. This is one that I got just before Halloween. I have my phone case is Doctor Who related. I got a beanie that is Doctor Who related. That's my 3-year-old now with it on, and she sometimes asks about Doctor Who. I love it. And I also started wearing these kind of shoes because one of Doctor Who's characters he wears these shoes. So, I decided to get them myself. And I also have toys that are related to Doctor Who. This is one of the main antagonists. So, and also, I'm going to show you this, if I can get down to my desktop here. I also have Doctor Who on my desktop. So, I express this in my life in many ways so that people know that I'm a fan of Doctor Who, even if they don't know who Doctor Who is. No, it's something that I love, and that I love sharing with my wife. I've got her interested in it. So these are some of the things that you could share in your short post about your fandom, about a thing that you are fanatical about, something that you love and that you want to share with other people, and that you don't understand why other people don't like it like you do. But just tell us about your choice, and again, how you express that choice, whether it's through clothes you wear, items you purchase, things that you do, or things that you say. Tell us about those things in your post on Google+. Now, so that will lead us into composition number 2. I will post more about that either at the end of this week, beginning of next week. Also this week, you've got the shared annotation spreadsheet, the Google Plus conversations, and per usual, the reflection. Now, so that's a rundown of the week. If you have questions about anything, please feel free to let me know. My inbox is always open.